The story of Lucy is as follows. When I first went to jail, on my jail phone, I ended up speaking to my PR team, and they said, this girl, Lucy, wants to come give you an interview, and she wants to tell the truth about your case. She doesn't want to matrix attack you. I said, that's a lie. Yes, she does. She goes, no, she wants to ask about why you're in jail without charge, how men shouldn't go to jail without trial, how this is a violation of your human rights. She wants to ask about what life's like in jail. She wants to make it very interesting. I said, who does she work for? And they said, the BBC. And I said, the BBC do not want to do anything but matrix attack me. So anyway, they convinced my PR team that this was not a matrix attack, and they came in friendly, and they sat down, convinced it was not a matrix attack, and we had cameras running in the background, which they didn't know, and then they instantly matrix attacked me and tried to make a fool of me.
Yep.
Lucy even admitted on BBC Radio 4 at a later date that she had been rehearsing for 2 months for that interview.
Really?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Imagine rehearsing for 2 months, setting a man up, lying, pretending it's going to be a softball interview or an interesting interview. It's not even softball. It'd be interesting to ask actually pertinent questions, and instead matrix attacking him. And off the top of his head, when he just came out of a jail cell for 93 days of solitary confinement, getting destroyed. These people must hate me. Of course they hate me.
It's interesting.
I just sit there and make a fool of them.
They even took down the interview after as well.
Of course
the second you released your one, because they released like a 15-minute version of it, and obviously your one was like an hour and a half or whatever it was.
It's like SEAL Team 6 breaking into a man's house and them all getting beat up with a spoon.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way that I should have won that fight. There's no way I should have won. They're the BBC. They had prepared. They'd set it up. She had rehearsed. They lied, saying it was going to be completely different questions. I just got out of jail. I had mental health problems. I couldn't sleep. I had bad nightmares. I've been in solitary confinement. All this. And I come out, I win. Of course they hate me. I'd hate me. Of course all they're going to do is print garbage about me forever. So why did I even do it? I guess the reason I did it is because I always have a parachute. I always have a bungee cord of brutal competence. And that competence has come from conflict, and I'm very well versed. I can argue any point. I can argue when I know I'm wrong. I can argue the sky is green. I can argue anything. There's no point I can't argue. And I have that backup. And I guess, I've said this before, I think it's probably the least discussed superpower on earth is being able to speak well.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it. People talk about being strong. Great. People talk about being rich. Okay, fantastic. But being able to speak correctly and properly and very well is a completely under-discussed superpower. It's the reason I refuse to learn another language. I've lived in Romania for 7 years. I know 3 words. People say, why don't you learn Romanian? I say, because I don't know English yet. When I know every single word in English, I'll learn Romanian because English makes me money. I don't need to learn Romanian. It doesn't make me any money.
Genuine question. Have you ever been media trained?
Never.
Never?
Never.
So the way you speak, the way you articulate yourself is just literally...
Practice.
Like that.
But it's not, in fact, correction. It's not practice. It's feedback. A lot of people practice things all the time and stay terrible. I had a guy say to me, in the war room, we actually do this training. I train the guys in the war room how to speak better. And that's one of the best things you can learn in life. And that's one of the reasons the war room's so valuable, because at the war room events, we do specific training for this particular task. And the guy was saying about how his business has improved, how much more money he makes, and how much better he is with girls, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was saying, yeah, okay, fine. But the reason I speak so well is not because I'm practiced, because this man was older than me. It's like, you've been speaking longer than I have.
Yeah.
It's not practice, it's feedback. If you don't analyze what you've done, then you're not going to identify your mistakes and where you can improve. I will watch this podcast back 10 times, and I will realize all the times I stuttered, or all the times I had to repeat myself, or all the times I didn't use a word I was supposed to use. And that's why next time I do a podcast, I'll be better than even before. And that's also a lesson you can take and apply towards life. You can apply the feedback aspect towards life. Practice alone will not improve you. Practice is going to build habits. In fact, from fighting, I know this very well. If you allow a student to come and learn bad habits at the beginning, it's very hard to get out of them. This is why most people, when they talk on podcasts, are saying, I can't even listen to that shit. I'm like, you don't even speak English? Why are you sitting down? You don't speak English?
Why it's so hard to get your point across?
Well, if you can't get your point across compendiously and you can't articulate yourself in a concise manner, how do you expect other people to affiliate with your worldview? Or one of the superpowers of life is thinking something and making somebody else think the same.
Making someone else believe you.
Oh, sorry, police, lover boy. But sitting there and making somebody agree with you, or at least making them understand why you think how you think, is a superpower, surely.
Yeah.
And it's massively misunderstood and underrepresented and not used, and it's not practiced and it's not versed. And I think also I'm actually kind of curious. I've thought about this myself, how useful it will be into the future when the AI comes along and controls us all. You know what my biggest fear of the machine minds are?
Go on.
My biggest fear is that people will be as smart as me. That will piss me off. I like being smarter than everyone. I don't want a bunch of people to have Google brains that are smarter than mine. I'm supposed to be the smartest guy in the room. That's going to annoy me.
I don't think that'll be the case. I'll tell you why. Because the way I see it is going down the conspiracy hole, yeah? It's like everyone will be trapped. And they'll be fed the information that the Matrix want them to have.
I know, but what if they can get words from the dictionary as quick as I can? Like, I had to work hard for that. Now they're just gonna get a microchip. That's a cheat. It's gonna piss me off. I don't want that to happen. Hopefully it happens when I'm already gone. But yeah, being able to speak is a massively misunderstood superpower that a lot of people need to understand that can drastically change their life. But you're only gonna be able to do it if you apply feedback to it. And the same is with absolutely everything in your life. Not enough people look back on what they did and identify where they made a mistake. And some people will do it when they lose, but the true professionals do it when they win. When my dad was playing a chess game, if he won the game, he would still analyze the game and see if he could have lost, where it could have gone wrong, how he could have won faster, what mistakes he did make, what he did well, what he did wrong, win or lose. So many people will sit in a scenario where everything went wrong and go, in fact, correction, not so many people. I would say 75% of people will not ever self-analyze the situation they're in. They'll blame everyone else. If they went to jail like I did, they'd say, they put me in jail because they're liars and the Matrix did it. Fine. True. But when I was in jail, I was like, how did I get here? What did I do? What did I say? Who did I piss off? What institutions want me in jail? What did I do that angered them? Me. I'm taking absolute self-accountability for everything. I'm not blaming anything else, because if I blame everything else, I have no control. If I blame myself, then I can influence it. I have control over it. So 75% of people blame other people, or they blame other things. I lost my business because of COVID. No, you lost your business because of you. I lost my girl because her friends were hoes. No, you lost your girl because of you, and you lost your car because of you, and it's all your fault, because that's the only thing that gives you control and power. The other 10%, we said 75, that's 85, now it has to be much higher. Let's say the other 20%, which brings up to 95% of the total of the populace, will look at a situation in which they lose, and they might self-analyze, and they might try and learn from the loss, and they'll try and find the feedback involved in the loss to make sure they don't lose again, which is obviously better than not analyzing at all.
At all, yeah.
And the top 5%, the absolute highest echelon, are people who are going to analyze every decision they've ever made, win or lose. I analyze my wins as well.
See where you went right.
See where I went right, see where I went wrong, see where it worked. You need to analyze your whole life. Your life needs to be feedback. You need to sit and it's over 10% into the year now. I wonder if anyone who made a New Year's resolution sits and says, it's over 10% into the year. Am I at 10% of my goal? Because your stupid ass said you were going to be a millionaire when you were drunk on New Year's Eve. Well, you need to have 100 grand saved. Do you have 100,000? Have you even done the feedback on your own goal you made 30 short days ago to realize that you're nowhere near it and you're not going to make it and you're a loser? No. Oh, I got the rest of the year. And then wonder why they fail. You should have a daily target.
And then it's just a full-on cycle for them, yearly.
Of course.
Going to be a millionaire next year. And then,
they just lie.
Yeah.
So you need to constantly feedback and analyze your life and take time out of scenarios. I do this all the time. There's been times I've got up out of bed and I've got ready and I've got my keys and I've got my phone and I've stroked my dog and I've had my coffee. I downed it quickly and it was just the right temperature, so it wasn't too hot and it wasn't too cold. And I got in my car, which had already been started by my security team, and it was already warm. And I got in and I was out the door. I was like, I got out the door in 6 minutes. That's like 2 minutes faster than normal. Yeah, that was good. What did I do good? Well, the coffee. The coffee wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold. Usually it's too hot and I have to wait. Or it's too cold and I want another one. The coffee was just the right temperature. When was it made? And I'll check the message where I sent them to make me a coffee. And it sounds crazy, but I'll analyze how I left the fucking house while I'm driving. I'll be like, that was fast. That was good.
How can we do that again?
Well done. I want to do that next time. People don't feedback ever. And they don't analyze the way they speak. If you're the kind of person who can't speak properly, you're the kind of person who doesn't analyze their own behaviors in life. That's what I would say. If I see somebody who can't make me understand why they think what they think, I'm going to sit and say, okay, well, you're not the kind of person who analyzes their own life. Now, do I trust you? Because let's say we start a business together and it all goes wrong. Are you going to come to me and say, I made a mistake. I can do better. This is the mistake I made. Or are you going to sit and say, well, the environment was hard. It was a hard business environment.
Wasn't in my control.
Yeah, some garbage and just cope. You know who the worst for this? Oh, I'm going to jail. Here we go. Going to jail. Women. Women take no self-accountability for anything. I'm a misogynist. It's true. No, they don't take self-accountability for anything. And they don't because they don't have to. Because they are blessed with beauty from God. So they have a superpower, which is their beauty. And their beauty allows them to get away with being completely lacking self-accountability, because as a man, you have to be competitive. And the only way you can truly be competitive in war, which life is to be self-accountable, to blame yourself for everything, because that puts you in the highest possible mind state to compete against everyone else who wants the things you want.
For sure.
So you have to, as a man, self-analyze and be self-critical.
Your every move.
Every move. But as a woman, you don't, because you're hot, right? So they're not good at it. And I'm not insulting them. They're just not used to it, because they get to blame other people and blame everything else because their beauty allows them to get away with it. And that's the reason I said, my girlfriend said, would you ever let me drive your cars? I was like, never. Never, ever. She goes, why? I am a good driver for a girl. And I said, yeah, and my 4-year-old's a good speaker for a 4-year-old, but I wouldn't put him in front of a stadium to talk. So it doesn't matter how well you could drive for a girl. You're a girl. But that's not even the reason. The reason I wouldn't let you drive my cars is not because I think you're going to crash. I do. But that's not even what it's about. If I lent my boy a car, if I lent a man a car and he crashed it,
He will take accountability for it.
he'd take accountability for it. He would come to me and say, there was a crash, this happened, I'll fix it, I'm sorry. Even if he believes it wasn't his fault, he would still, if he's the kind of guy I know, have enough self-accountability to go, this idiot pulled out of nowhere, but I was speeding. I was going fast, it's a fast car. I'm gonna fix the car, I'm gonna get it sorted, I'm gonna pay for it. If a woman crashes the car, that's not what you're going to hear. It wasn't my fault. You don't understand. It wasn't me. He pulled out and I didn't do anything wrong and he pulled out. And I'm like, well, how are you going to fix it? I'm not going to fix it because he pulled out and I didn't know. Why are you yelling at me? This isn't my fault. And I'm left with the mess. So why am I letting her a car in the first place? I'm left with the mess and she's going to say it's not her fault. She'll crash into a tree by herself and it wasn't her fault. The tree
did something.
Bro. It's clown world. So anyone who's not self-accountable, I don't trust. So back to, let's avoid the women's subject because it always gets me in trouble. Back to men. If you're a man who's not self-accountable, I don't trust you. So if you're a man who's making a mistake as permanent as not being able to speak and convey your ideas correctly, well, then I don't trust you as a person. And that's probably the best thing about money. People often ask me what the best thing about being rich is. And there's not much that's good. Private jets are good because it's convenient. It's like getting an Uber. There's no airport garbage. Supercars are fun. I love supercars. But most other rich stuff is garbage. Like caviar's crap, champagne's crap. What do rich people do? Golf,
I tried caviar
croquet,
one time. I thought it was disgusting.
It's all shit.
Yeah.
I don't like. One of the best things about being rich is I don't have to talk to anyone I don't want to talk to. If someone comes to me and goes, Andrew, we can make a lot of money together, but I think they're a nerd, that's what I talk to them. It's great. I don't want your money. I would rather not have money than sit and talk to a nerd. You're a dork. Oh, you're a vegan. Get fucked. Oh, but we'll make money. Don't care. I don't want the money. I am principled now, which goes back into my earlier point about why I want my fans to have money, because if you have money, you're principled. If you're a brokey, you'll sell your soul, which is why I don't want my fans to be broke. That's why I have the real world so they can join and make money, because if you are broke, you will say, I'm not a fan of Andrew if it benefits you financially, which means you're no good to me in a war because now you're a traitor. I don't want that. So one of the best things about being rich is I get to be exceptionally principled, and I get to also not talk to anyone I don't want to talk to all of the time, which I do truly enjoy. It's one of the best things about it.